name is Tula Pink. I am a fabric designer, a quilter, and a sewing enthusiast from the United States. I love BERNINA because it is the most dependable machine on earth. What's really important to me as a sewer is consistent stitch length. I know it's going to be the same every time I sit down in the machine, regardless of what I'm sewing. And that is something that only a BERNINA does every single time. As a quilter, it's important that I can get through several layers of fabric and even some experimental materials. And the power of the BERNINA machine allows me to go through anything. BERNINA is the only sewing machine I use, and the reason I use a BERNINA is because when I turn it on, it does exactly what I need it to do. It's sturdy, it's well built, and it runs smoothly, and it never ever lets me down. BERNINAs are quiet and consistent and powerful machines, and that you can get that much power without the noise of the power, I think is a beautiful thing. That is what quality in a sewing machine means to me. It's less work for me, more work for the machine, and if the machine can handle it, then I don't have to worry about it. BERNINAs are designed with the sewer in mind. You can see everything that you're doing under the needle while you're doing it because of the actual design of the machine, but also because of the LED lights that run underneath the throat of the machine. Those are the things that you need when you're sewing. You need to be able to see your project and know what you're doing. The Bobbin Case is also brilliantly designed on BERNINAs. You can access it from the front, so you can pop the bobbin out and pop it right back in without actually removing your project from the machine. It seems so simple, but it's crucial when you're sewing all the way into the night and into the early morning. When it comes to cleaning and oiling my machine, it's so simple. I don't have to take anything apart. I clean it, I oil it, and I get right back to work. BERNINA presser feet are unique in that they're made from one solid piece of metal. So your stitches stay completely consistent, and that is largely dependent on the presser foot. I don't need to use a screwdriver to change the presser foot, and that saves invaluable time when you are sewing using lots of different accessories, one right after the other. The straight stitch plate is kind of genius because my fabric doesn't get sucked down into the bobbin case like it used to before I had the straight stitch plate. All these little tiny things that BERNINA has thought of that make everything easier. And you get to a point where you've been sewing on a BERNINA so long that you sort of forget how good you have it until you try to sew on a different machine, and then you're like, oh right, that's why I sew on a BERNINA. The best way to know if a BERNINA is the right machine for you is to just sew on one. I guarantee that anybody that spends even 10 minutes sewing on a BERNINA will understand why I choose BERNINA as my machine over everything else.
BERNINA, made to create.